Imagine looking up at the night sky and seeing the stars flicker like tiny cosmic candles, shimmering as if they're alive, dancing, or trying to send you a message. But what if I told you that this twinkling, this magical flicker that has inspired poets, dreamers, and explorers for thousands of years, is actually an illusion? What if the stars aren't twinkling at all, and the real reason behind this beautiful effect is something happening right above your head, every second, in the invisible layers of our own atmosphere? Stay with me until the end, because the truth behind why stars twinkle is far stranger, far more beautiful, and far more connected to our everyday lives than you might expect. Before we dive deep into the science, let's take a moment to appreciate the experience itself. Think about the last time you stood outside at night, maybe in a quiet place away from the city lights, maybe during a camping trip, or maybe just on a random evening when the sky happened to be clear. You looked up, and the stars seemed to sparkle. Some flickered rapidly, others gently shimmered, and some seemed to pulse with a rhythm. It's one of the most peaceful sights in the universe. And yet, almost nobody knows what's actually happening. So let's unravel this cosmic mystery together. First, here's the surprising truth. Stars do not twinkle, not in space, not from up close, not from any other planet. If you were floating in space, looking at the stars with your own eyes, they would shine steadily, like tiny points of pure light. No flicker, no shimmer, no twinkle. The twinkling is something that only happens when you're standing on Earth, and it's caused by something we interact with every moment of our lives, the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a giant ocean of air surrounding our planet. It's made of layers: thick ones, thin ones, warm ones, cold ones, turbulent ones, calm ones. And these layers are constantly moving, shifting, bending, and swirling. When starlight travels through space, it moves in a straight line, but when it reaches Earth, it has to pass through this chaotic ocean of air. And that's where the magic happens. As starlight enters the atmosphere, it gets bent, stretched, squeezed, and refracted by pockets of air with different temperatures and densities. Imagine shining a flashlight through a swimming pool. The light bends and wiggles because the water is moving. The same thing happens with starlight, except the water is the atmosphere. Every tiny movement of air bends the light slightly differently. So by the time the light reaches your eyes, it looks like it's flickering. The star isn't changing. The path the light takes is changing, and that creates the twinkle. But here's where things get even more interesting. Not all stars twinkle equally. Some twinkle a lot. Some barely twinkle at all. And the reason has everything to do with how high they are in the sky. When a star is directly overhead, its light passes through less atmosphere. The path is shorter, so there's less distortion. But when a star is near the horizon, its light has to travel through a much thicker slice of atmosphere. More air means more bending. More bending means more twinkling. That's why stars near the horizon flicker dramatically, sometimes changing color rapidly, while stars high above look steadier. Now, before we go deeper, we're approaching the early part of the video. So if you're enjoying this journey into the night sky, make sure to stay with me until the end. I promise the final explanation will tie everything together in a way that will change how you see the stars forever. Let's continue. The atmosphere doesn't just bend light randomly. It bends different colors differently. This is why stars sometimes appear to change color as they twinkle. You might see a star flash red, then blue, then white, then yellow. It's not actually changing color. The atmosphere is acting like a prism, splitting the light into different wavelengths for a fraction of a second. It's the same effect that creates rainbows, but on a much smaller, faster scale. This effect is so strong that it even affects planets. But here's the twist. Planets don't twinkle, at least not in the same way stars do. If you look at Venus, Jupiter, or Mars, you'll notice they shine steadily. Why? Because planets are much closer to Earth than stars. They appear as tiny disks of light, not single points. When the atmosphere bends their light, the bending averages out across the disk, making the flicker disappear. Stars are so far away that they appear as single points of light, so any bending is noticeable. Planets are close enough that the bending gets smoothed out. So if you see a bright object in the sky that isn't twinkling, it's probably a planet. Now, let's go deeper into the atmosphere itself. The atmosphere is not uniform. It's filled with turbulence waves of air rising and falling, pockets of warm air mixing with cold air, streams of wind moving at different speeds. These movements create tiny lenses that bend starlight in unpredictable ways. Astronomers call this atmospheric seeing, and it's one of the biggest challenges in observing the universe from Earth. Even the most powerful telescopes struggle with it. That's why observatories are built on mountaintops, where the air is thinner and calmer. And it's why space telescopes like Hubble produce such crisp images there above the atmosphere entirely. We're about halfway through the video now. So if you're enjoying this deep dive into the science behind twinkling stars, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. It helps the channel grow and lets me keep making videos like this. Alright, let's continue. The twinkling of stars isn't just a beautiful effect, it's also a tool. Astronomers can use twinkling to measure atmospheric turbulence. Pilots can use it to understand weather conditions at high altitudes. And ancient navigators used the steadiness of planets versus the flicker of stars to guide their journeys. Twinkling has been part of human history for thousands of years. But here's something even more fascinating. Twinkling can reveal secrets about the stars themselves. For example, if a star twinkles irregularly or in a strange pattern, it might indicate that something is passing in front of it like a planet. This is one of the ways astronomers detect exoplanets. They look for tiny dips or distortions in starlight. So in a way, twinkling is not just a beautiful illusion, it's a cosmic signal. Now let's explore something poetic. When you look at a twinkling star, you're seeing light that has traveled for hundreds, thousands, or even millions of years. That light left the star long before humans existed, long before Earth had cities, oceans, or forests, long before your ancestors walked the planet. And after traveling across the universe, that ancient light gets bent and twisted by the atmosphere in the last millisecond before reaching your eyes. The twinkle you see is the final moment of a journey that began before recorded history. It's a reminder of how connected we are to the cosmos. But twinkling also reveals something about our own planet. It shows that Earth is alive. The atmosphere is constantly moving, breathing, shifting. Without this movement, stars wouldn't twinkle. The sky would look static and lifeless. Twinkling is a sign of Earth's dynamic nature. It's a sign that our planet is full of energy. Now let's imagine something. What if Earth had no atmosphere? The stars would shine steadily. The sky would be pitch black, even during the day. The sun would be a blinding point of light. There would be no twinkling, no shimmering, no flicker. The night sky would look like a perfect, still painting. Beautiful, yes, but also strangely empty. Twinkling adds life to the sky. It makes the stars feel alive. As we approach the end of this video, I want to ask you something. What do you think is more beautiful? The steady glow of stars in space, or the twinkling stars we see from Earth? Do you prefer the calmness of a perfect point of light, or the shimmering dance created by our atmosphere? Let me know in the comment side. Love to hear your thoughts and continue the conversation with you. And before we wrap up, if you enjoyed this journey into the mystery of twinkling stars, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. It helps more than you know, and it lets me keep bringing you these cosmic stories. The next time you look up at the night sky and see the stars flicker, remember what's really happening. You're not seeing the stars change. You're seeing Earth breathe. You're seeing the atmosphere bend ancient light. You're witnessing a dance between the cosmos and our planet. A dance that has been happening for billions of years. A dance that connects you to the universe in a way that is both scientific and deeply poetic. Stars don't twinkle, Earth makes them twinkle. And that simple fact transforms the night sky into one of the most beautiful illusions in nature. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.